Hello, welcome to drawing time, where we got some time to draw. So we're gonna do some drawing. And I will grab my pack of Faber-Castell pencils and go to war against a blank piece of paper. Really want to try to fill up this sketchbook by the end of the year and have a whole collection of stuff to work from. Probably color them in with a Wacom pad or something, or maybe even try my hand at some colored pencils or some more traditional media. I really love drawing with a pencil still. I have the Wacom, and I obviously you don't have to do so much erasing. You just undo. Or if you're a better artist or a real artist, as it were, you probably don't have to even do any erasing. But um, I am a shade tree artist, garage mechanic artist, who just loves to do this and has an overactive imagination and tries to pull the imagery out of my skull and get it on a piece of paper. I was heavily influenced back in the day by the likes of Chris Foss and his spaceships and space hardware. He never did a lot of figures, never did a lot of people in his artwork, at least on the stuff that was in the novels, on his book jackets and his paintings. But he did do a lot of pencil drawings of people. He has a book called Diary of a Space Person, where it's just full of, you know, I guess you would say, scantily clad women in sort of dystopian sci-fi setting. Um, and of course, you got Jim Burns, who did figures, kind of mixed aspects of the hardware with the figure drawing, and he just took the figure drawing to the next level with a lot of acrylic on canvas, expressive and mysterious people mixed in with the mysterious settings that he was amazing at. Roger Dean too, and but Roger Dean, his was more, I think, definitely was prog rock, or that prog rock era, the poster art era. You could go into a record shop, and look at the these this amazing artwork on the album covers. He was part of that scene, and his books and posters was Magnetic Storm and Views. His Yes album covers. That stuff is still awesome. You know, some people may not like it and say it's dated or whatnot, or it's van art. Stuff you'd see painted on the side of a van. I love it. I, I gotta hold true to what I love, I guess. I think I finally got a handle on the video flicker. Maybe it's not completely conquered, but I definitely figured out ways to minimize it. Doing some reading, I saw that it's not an uncommon situation, especially with the LED bulbs flickering at 60 hertz, is creating a overlap or causing that flicker for certain frame rates on the GoPro. So if you crank your recording settings to the lowest quality and frame rate, was it 1080p by 24 frames a second, you can minimize that. Or actually, it completely goes away when you're watching it normally, because you could see it on the higher uh, in the higher recording settings. The flicker was still there. It completely goes away when you play it normally, but when you fast forward it for these time lapse presentations, it reemerges ever so slightly, but it's not as jarring as it was, and probably shouldn't have even said anything because you might not have even noticed. But anyway, that was a bit of good news. Happy to have that kind of understood at least. All right, I see I got another subscriber too, lucky number 7. Thanks for taking the time and putting forth the effort to hit that button. Thanks for everybody who did that so far. Very much appreciated. I'm still trying to get my mom to subscribe, but she won't do it. I gave her $10. I might have to give her a call and, you know, ask her in a stern manner what's going on. Why can't she figure this out? Very frustrating. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for nothing. I got a couple more projects in the works. I'm recording them as we speak, actually related to some stuff I had demonstrated in the past. Some of those games I was working out in Godot, that Sierra style adventure game, made a good degree of progress on that. And I could probably show that off and do some walkthroughs of that. Finally getting to the point where I could create the inventory system for the character to hold on to stuff. I want to work on a crafting system so you can combine pieces and parts and make new elements that might be required for the game or solve puzzles and things like that. And the dialogue system, the point and click dialogue system to display your texts and whatnot, ended up being a little more tricky than I had anticipated. Um, but all in all, not extraordinarily difficult. And it should be fun. That should be a fun one because with that style of game, you can really create a cool atmosphere that lends itself to doing lots of artwork because you got the backgrounds. Lots of artwork does mean actually quite a bit of work, but it's worth the reward because you can make some really cool stuff and set the vibe and the tone and the atmosphere. And maybe hit that RPG game, that Starflight style RPG, because I really do have a framework for that in place. That one is ready to go in a lot of ways. You would just have to finish fleshing out a story, or flushing out a story, and yeah. Some more projects in the works are related to 3D printing. I'm working on some detailed models, trying to add illumination and some LED lighting to some of these things to see if I can create some cool diorama style, intense models, some really detailed builds. Although I will say I do struggle utilizing the Bamboo Lab Carbon X1. You really got to fiddle with the settings to get some high quality prints out of it. At least that's been my experience. I'm not speaking as this is not some kind of official review by any means, but when I compare it to some of the other printers I've had where I've struggled less to get high quality prints, and you go through what messing with the speed and the settings and the layer settings and all the typical stuff. I'm sure there's some tweaking. I have seen some really good models come out of it. So it's a situation of me not knowing exactly how to set it up to do that. It gets to kind of get to a point where you just struggle with it for so long. You're like, "Well, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go with this for now. I'll see if I can work past some of those issues. Like I used to have the Ultimaker 2 a long time ago, and that thing just consistently put out quality parts, and I didn't really even have to think about it too much or mess with a lot of the settings as long as it was just straight PLA coming out of there. ABS, I might have had to tweak or print a couple of times to get it right, but I do not remember spending so much time with Ultimaker to get it good stuff with PLA anyway. Um, and incorporate maybe some motors and I want to try to make a fountain like one of those little Zen garden fountains that you could get. Got some water pumps. I'll try to incorporate some of that in there, and I do have some ideas to create some of those kind of fountain things from old drawings and paintings, and those should be some fun projects to go through. I don't know. We'll see how they come out presentation wise. I'm always working on that, watching other people and how they do their video editing it. It's actually pretty amazing when you see some of these YouTube videos out there and just the quality that people can put forth. Very impressive in their video editing skills because that stuff, you know, that is no joke, man. That's a lot of effort in some of those cases. I do see there are some quick solutions. People probably throw them together on their iPhones or whatnot, which I guess is impressive too because I don't know how to do it. So kudos to everybody else. Um, yeah. we'll see how these other projects turn out, and I'm looking forward to doing them. I've been trying to keep these videos under 20 minutes. Sometimes it seems like that can go a lot longer just with the video, and 20 minutes seems like a long time or excessive to watch, especially when it's just something like a drawing video or whatever, and at least 15 minutes. So a 15-minute watch, maybe that's even too long. I'm still kind of playing with that time frame to see about how to collect more viewers. Maybe if I just made better drawings, that would work too. Um, but I did make a unboxing video for a friend of mine is sent. They're gonna be visiting around Halloween time, and they sent some decorations down here for their son, who is a big Halloween fan, I guess you would say. And I acted like a goofball in that, sort of based on, I don't know what you'd call them, those kid tubers. That's what I call them, kid tubers, where they walk around screaming and yelling at everything, or they're just very loud and obnoxious, and they give me headaches to watch. Fortunately, I don't have to watch them too much, like people with kids might. Anyway, that video got a lot of views real quick, at least way more views than I'm used to. So I guess I can kind of see why people make that kind of content. Although you probably won't be seeing too much of that here, but you never, you never know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I think I am close to wrapping this up. Getting there. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you watching and listening to me blather. If you feel so compelled, motivated, or moved, check back again. I will definitely be doing another one. All right. Thanks for your time. Bye.